What's up, boys? Today we're going to be playing some Binding of Isaac by popular request. I just bought the DLC, so this will be my first time playing the expanded version.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe, I remember grinding this game out for hours trying to defeat Satan on the original version. I'm excited to see what it looks like to go the heaven route.
Right off the bat, Joe, I'm questioning your decision to play Cain. He has some of the worst health stats in the game and no in-combat bonuses, which will make it hard for your dementia-ridden fingers to survive the early game.
To the contrary, Cain is the most reliable of all of the characters in my opinion. There is no greater power in this game than to manipulate luck in your favor. And knowing that you will never be at risk of getting a bad pill or losing big on gambling assures that you'll be scaling in the right direction.
Wow, that was pretty nice. Now you won't have to worry about keys for the rest of the game, although now you're lacking in combat bonuses. Also, if you want to go the heaven route, why would you play humanity's first traitor instead of Isaac or Magdalene, given that they're more saintly figures?
Stop distracting me, Obama. I'm good at dodging shots, but I'm terrible against bosses that use random movements and attack with their bodies.
Wow, I can't believe this run is basically already over, Joe. You better get ready to hand over the keyboard at this rate, given how you're about to die.
Hush, you orange clown. I'm about to make Envy envious of my incredible moves.
Well, because Donald gets to do the Pokemon playthrough, it's only fair that I should get to do the next Binding of Isaac run. Come on, Sleepy Joe, just give up. There's no way you can beat the boss with only one heart.
Half a heart, Obama.
Hey guys, I'm just warming up. I've adjusted to its movement speed and pattern, and now I will defeat this mini-boss with ease. Let the president show you how it's done.
I'll admit, Joe, it's impressive you didn't die there, but now you're only going to have one heart against the first boss and no combat bonuses. It's still chopped, you noob.
Yeah, come on, Biden, just give up and let me play now. I don't want to waste people's time having to watch you die to the first boss so quickly like someone who's never touched the game.
I've had it with you haters. Time to unleash my true power.
This is the full extent of my gamer potential. You mere mortals cannot even comprehend the extent of my gaming prowess. A mere boss like this is but dust before my feet. Weep, cry, beg for mercy, but expect nothing but the wrath of God from me, spawn of Satan.
Holy crap, is that the Dark Brandon I keep hearing everybody talk about?
Okay, Donald, I think we need to lay off. How will we get Joe back? I'm scared and might crap my pants right now.
Hey. Oh, hi guys, I'm back. I was so furious I let my evil alter ego escape. I must find a tool in this dungeon to suppress him, otherwise I will be overcome by the evil one, and I won't be able to ascend to the cathedral.
Joe, what force could possibly suppress such an overwhelmingly powerful evil spirit? I don't think there's anything on Earth that could stop that. I thought you might kill us all. Look at what it did to that boss.
Fear not, for there is one, God's highly favored, who has been given the power to crush any evil underfoot.
We better find this highly favored one quick then, Sleepy Joe. I don't want to see that evil guy again.
Where can we find this person, Joe? Are they near? Will you be able to make it?
Obama, I'm scared. What will we do if Scary Biden comes back? I'm considering just confessing to all of my crimes so that the government protects me in jail.
Fear not, boys, for we have found the favor of Our Lady. By the wearing of her infinitely powerful scapular, we can overcome any evil we will find in this dungeon. I have complete confidence in the success of this run now.
Wow, Joe, I didn't think you were really Christian like that.
I wanted you boys to be the first to know. I'm repenting of all of my evil policies, comments, actions, thoughts, words, and deeds. I want to entirely reform my life, and I just want to know I have your guys' support.
If this scapular is really powerful enough to keep Scary Joe away, then I'm all for it. Salve Regina.
Well, now that that's taken care of, I have to call into question your confidence on this run. You keep dropping to one heart, and I still really can't see this turning into a dub.
This will be a bigger dub than the 2020 election. No rigging required, Obama. Now watch me crush the head of these snakes underfoot.
Whoa, how did you get a blue heart? That's got to be some hacks, bro.
You guys are witnessing a fraction of the power of the scapular. By dropping myself to half a heart, I receive an extra blue heart, and by taking another heart after the fact, I'm able to enter the boss fight with more than what would otherwise be my max hearts.
I'm actually amazed by how well you've thought this out, Joe. Here I thought you were just being an idiot, but now I see you were actually intentionally losing hearts. That's genius.
It's a shame you're not playing, though, Donald. Seeing as with how overweight you are, you should have no problem surviving a famine off of your lard reserves.
Oh, dang, he got you good, Donald. Nice roast, Sleepy Joe.
Be quiet, Obama. I'm not fat, I'm just big-boned. You toothpicks would never understand my masculine physique.
Lord have mercy, boys. The devil is trying to tempt me into making a deal with him and selling my soul, but I will resist his evil plot, because if I make a deal with him, I won't be worthy to ascend to the heights of the cathedral.
You did the right thing by running away, Joe. I'm really feeling bad for you, though. That's so unlucky to get a block of meat. That has to be one of the most useless loots in the game.
That's where you're dead wrong, Obama. While its basic form may not be the most useful, it can still block bullets and deal close-range damage, and its second form can do the first two things as well as shoot. If you're lucky enough to get the third form, it basically lets you clear easier dungeons for free, especially with a floating head or horse bonus that allows you to hover impassable spaces for bad guys.
I relate so much with Kane here. I had a nightmare about getting a poopy gift one time, but when I woke up...
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Donald, it's absolutely unbelievable to me how you're able to call $1 million a small loan with a straight face every time you bring it up. Your self-awareness approaches that of a toilet plunger. But at least the toilet plunger is easier to look at.
Wow, you didn't have to do him so dirty like that, Obama, but in fairness, it's probably still not as dirty as Donald's toilet plunger after he eats 5 billion Big Macs as a 10 a.m. snack. You're still right, though. Even his toilet plunger is easier to look at.
You guys are really just after my soul today. What happened to repenting of all of your evil ways, Joe? I thought you were a changed man.
Fret not, dear Donny boy, for I am simply helping you grow in the virtue of humility by force.
Oh, my apologies for not seeing how truly pious you guys must be. May God reward you for making me suffer like this, meanies.
Not gonna lie, guys, this whole episode has turned into a really weird religious bit. Can we get back to talking about the game and how Joe's clearly about to get smoked in this next boss room? I just wish he would lose already so it could be my turn.
That's where you're wrong, Obama. While the joking around may be a bit, the power of the scapular is no laughing matter. I'm dead serious that I'm going to win through Our Lady's intercession, and I have not a single doubt in my mind about it.
What's laughable is that you still think you're going to run in 2024. Anyway, Sleepy Joe, you're completely off your rocker if you think you can go into this fight with half a heart and the scapular bonus and expect to come out with a W. This is the end for you, buddy.
Obama, are you looking at his screen? Let this man cook. He's literally making pestilence stew right now, Sleepy Joe. I take back every word of slander I've ever said about you. You're actually looking like Gordon Ramsay right now.
And would you look at that, Obama? I've already got the second cube of meat, and I'm not even out of caves. If I was able to get the third block that would eliminate any trace of doubt of how much of a massacre this game is going to be a clean sweep.
This sweep has been anything but clean, Josephine. You've spent the majority of this run on less than 2 hearts, and you're constantly losing more to some of the simplest monsters. It's beyond me how you're so careless in the easy levels, but when it comes to boss levels, you're sweating like a reporter in North Korea after he gets a summons from Kim.
Before you guys start calling me lucky, those pills I just got are a perfect example of why you should play Kane. Any other character and you'd be having to bank on getting good pills to determine how well you'd be able to scale in different categories. And risking it all on pills or slots could end an entire run. With Kane, you have the security of knowing that luck is always on your side, and to be honest, if I could have a stand ability, I would want it to be something like that, because it's just so OP.
I mean, I can't relate. I've never needed luck, not even once in my life. I'm always the best at everything, and no luck is ever required. I even beat the game using the guy who only has blue hearts, but I didn't record it, so you guys will just have to take my word for it.
You've said a lot of baboonish things in your day, Trunky Monkey, but that has to take the cake. I know you, and if you ever won a game with him, you'd have a QR code link to the recording tattooed to your forehead just so you could show it off to everybody.
Okay, that was actually pretty funny, but why would I ever want to tarnish this beautiful face of mine? To rob humanity of a single square millimeter of this wonder of God's creation would be a crime.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry, because I honestly think you're being dead serious and don't understand what an ape you sound like, Donald.
The only thing ape-like about me, Jojo, is how much my stature resembles that of a silverback gorilla, ready to tear apart the opposition limb from limb at a moment's notice.
I don't know if you've looked in a mirror recently, Don, but your view of yourself is so far removed from reality. It makes me think that orange paint you put on yourself has seeped into your eyes and blinded you.
Call me blind if you want, but there's no way I'm turning a blind eye to Sleepy Joe's luck this game. Did you just see how he got an extra life? That's crazy to me how lucky he's been getting this run.
I honestly think Extra Lives has to be one of the most overrated power-ups in the game. Barring the rare situation where you just happen to run out of lives over the course of a difficult level, if you're getting 100 to 0'd on a boss fight from full health, an extra life isn't likely to save you on a second attempt. I'd rather just get more damage output.
Surely you see how silly you sound, Joe. You make it sound like a rare exception that you just run out of hearts gradually throughout a dungeon, or happen to slip up now and again, but that's exactly what ruins a bunch of my runs. It's very hard to be 100% consistent throughout an entire run.
Maybe for you plebs, but for Joe Mama, nothing could be easier. Half the time I'll fall asleep mid-run, but I just go on autopilot and breeze through the boss fights while having a nap. I guess you noobs would never understand, though.
I believe the part about you taking a nap, but the only way you're making it through in those situations is Dark Brandon taking over. Probably the only reason you're good at this game is because you let your alter ego play for 95% of the run, and he only lets you come out to beat the spiders.
Maybe so, Don, but you'll see my true power this run. The scapular has suppressed Dark Brandon's powers, so it's just Our Lady and I. I've gotten lucky with damage output on this run. The rock and the second cube of meat has made it easy to eliminate these opponents quickly.
Plus, you got an entire extra heart from a small chest. That almost never happens and requires extreme luck. Not to mention the fact that up until that point, you had been capped at 2 hearts, which basically meant you could have been taken out by a difficult room at any point.
I'll give you that, but at the same time, it's also unlikely that I wouldn't have gotten any bonus hearts up until then either. Usually you're able to get an extra heart every level or 2, and I'm already on the 4th level, and I've only gotten 1. Thankfully, the bonus damage is really making up for my glass cannon build right now.
Wow, that's so cool that they made your wife into one of the bosses, Joe.
You see, a former Joe Biden would have retaliated with a snide remark about Stormy Daniels, but new Joe is beyond that. And I'm mature enough to just accept that you'll resort to immature insults like that, and there's no point responding.
Holy crap, Joe, you destroy Fistula with the most clean mechanics I've ever seen, while simultaneously being the bigger man. There might be something to that scapular after all.
I'm telling you guys, you can't sleep on the scapular. It's perhaps the most powerful sacramental the church has to offer us.
All right, Joe, you're acting all calm and cool now, but I can't wait to see how you look when we get into some of the tougher levels. Everybody knows the game doesn't even begin until you reach the depths.
Oh, trust me, I'll be cool as a cucumber this whole run. At this point, the best thing I could get to pair with my high damage output would be another cube of meat and an ability that lets me float, so that I can let the meat man do all the damage while I just chill out in a safe place.
Yes, but realistically, that would require you to get extremely lucky, Joe. Although it's rare to see this many cubes of meat so early into the game, and it would be conceivable for you to get another, the likelihood of that happening along with a floating ability is incredibly low.
You've got to be joking right now. Not only does Sleepy Joe get an extra life, but he also gets eternal life? What's up with this game and treating Joe like he's the prodigal son or something?
Again, Donald, extra lives really don't provide that much value. With that power up, you'd be reviving with only blue hearts, which means you're almost guaranteed to lose anyways, even if you do take advantage of the bonus.
Joe, you're trying to justify your good luck more than you've been trying to justify your budget. What you're not seeing is that while these bonuses may not necessarily be useful, they're much better than a kick in the pants, or a bonus you can only keep in your spacebar, which you can only have 1 of anyways. There's nothing that aggravates me more than perpetually getting a bunch of bonuses I can't even utilize in the first place.
Is it just me, or are your movements getting much smoother, Sleepy Joe? I've noticed you've taken a lot less damage from the monsters in these smaller rooms lately.
Thanks for noticing, Donald. I think I've finally gotten the rust off of the old hinges and my mechanics are coming back to me.
Oh, that's a clever use of the shield, Joe. Good thinking.
Oh, Lord have mercy, I can't stand these things. My main strategy with melee monsters is to have them follow me and take damage as they approach me, and then dodge at the last moment if they haven't died. But that doesn't work so well with these. Hitting them on their weak side is especially difficult because of the way they'll always start walking towards you if you're on the same horizontal or vertical as them.
Couldn't you just stay close to them and have your cube of meat damage them as it rotates by them?
Theoretically, yes, but the mechanics required to pull that off consistently without getting cornered or accidentally just bumping into them would be even more difficult than just trying to damage them normally.
Oh, hey, would you look at that, Sleepy Joe? They made you into a monster in this game. Hideous and deteriorating before our eyes.
Wouldn't it be more similar to Mike Pence since they have flies on them?
Ah, good one, Barack. My dementia's getting so bad, I can't even remember the debates from the 2020 election anymore.
Tell me, Joey, why is it that if your dementia's really getting that bad, you still intend to run again in 2024? I mean, it's fine by me, since that would basically mean I get a free win.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Joe. For the good of America, I think you'd better step down.
Shut up, guys. I just picked up the Book of Revelations. This may be one of the single most powerful items in the entire game. It grants me the ability to periodically give myself a blue heart, which may sound like a very modest bonus. But when you're in the final levels and you just need to be able to sustain through incredibly difficult rooms, having a few extra hearts here and there can be the difference between life and death.
Okay, but should you really be using it nilly-willy all the time? I mean, if you lose your blue hearts, there's no getting them back. Whereas losing red hearts is okay, since you can just recover them normally. I'd hate to go into a boss fight without a blue heart when I could have one for free.
But that's where you're wrong, Trumpy-Wumpy. In the final levels of the game, red hearts are so sparse it's a miracle to ever be on a full health bar. By using it as soon as it's available every time, I maximize the amount of blue hearts I'm able to give myself, and therefore I can last longer in even the hardest dungeons. Additionally, if I'm able to go between charges without taking too much damage or grabbing more blue hearts, I can go into the boss fight with several blue hearts, instead of just one.
Joe, I think you've spent too much time learning the ins and outs of this game, and not enough time running the country.
If he would just give me the presidency, he wouldn't have to run the country at all, and you could spend all day looking at Binding of Isaac lore. Wouldn't that be nice, Sleepy Joe? You'd have more time for naps, too.
Hold the phone, guys. How did we just pick up a child's heart? I don't recall that being part of the original game.
Yeah, they added passive items. This one has a chance of changing the room's drop to a heart, or adding a heart to the drop from a chest. Very strong passive for the late game.
Joe, I'm absolutely confident that this run has been 1% skill and 90% insane luck.
What about the other 9% there, Donald? Or are you becoming senile as well and just forgot?
No Obamna. The other 9% is Dark Brandon coming in clutch on that first boss fight.
Guys, I know you're going to hate me for this, but I just got even luckier.
There is absolutely no way that Joe just got an item that allows him to levitate. The one thing you've been praying for this entire run. I can only describe your luck as bonkers, crazy, absolutely nuts, and stupid. I think you just became my least favorite president for that.
Joe, are you stupid? Why did you just hurt yourself on those spikes?
My bad, Donald. I was curious if they still hurt you if you're floating. Honestly, not sure what those rooms do.
Anyways, Obama, no need to throw such a fit about the levitation. It's only really a big deal if he gets another cube of meat to go with it for the insane passive damage.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I've never fought this version of war before, and I'm starting to think that it's going to be 10 times more difficult than the other one. But I know Our Lady will clutch up for me here and we'll win it.
Thankfully, those beams of light don't seem terribly difficult to evade, but that storm of a bunch of wars seems like it'll cause you some trouble, Joe.
Well, geez, this guy hits like a truck, and he has tracking bullets. I don't know if I've ever fought a boss with a kit like this. My usual strategy of wall hugging to avoid taking damage is definitely not going to work against those bullets. So I'm popping the magician here.
Fight fire with fire, hey Joe. Even with tracking bullets of your own, he's on half health, and you're down to your last leg here, Sleepy Joe. I think you're going to have to take the L on this one.
Thankfully, bosses in this game seem to get easier instead of harder to fight as they go on, so I think I'll be okay.
Come on, Joe. I thought it was easy to avoid those. Now you're relying on your scapular for this dub.
Holy crap, Joe. Nice dodge on that. I thought you were toast.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. That's absolutely unbelievable that Joe gets a levitating ability in the third cube of meat on the same level.
I believe that is what the kids these days would call a skill issue Obamna. Have you tried coping?
Or seething.
Or maulding?
Or crying.
Or whining?
Or being a big baby about it.
Or moping?
Or doping.
Or wailing to Michelle about it?
More like Michael, am I right?
Or sniffing chill?
All right, cool it, Joe. This is a family program.
Yeah, you kind of ruined it, Sleepy Joe. Also, why wouldn't you take 9 extra lives? That would bring you to 10 total. You'd be almost immortal.
See, that's where you're wrong, Donald. It seems like a good deal, but really that's the single worst power-up in the entire game. It gives you 8 extra lives, but in return, each life only has 1 heart. You may as well give up with just 1 heart at that point. Plus, it would make my extra life almost irrelevant.
As much as it pains me, I have to agree with Joe on this one, Donald. 9 lives is simply a death sentence to a good run, especially if you've been fortunate enough to pick up a few bonus hearts before then.
Of course, you side with the dirty Democrat Obama. If I could have 9 lives, I'd use all 9 of them to refine my art of the deal so I could get away with doing Stormy better. No court case required.
Somehow I'm not surprised that even in a game like this, the only thing on Donald's mind is how he can better fulfill his selfish desires. Clearly you don't understand how this game is a spiritual journey within itself.
Wow, Joe, with all this insane damage output you have, you're just cruising through these levels. The mobility from your levitation now also means you cap rip around without having to worry about obstacles either.
Leave it to Obama to point out the obvious. Here's something a little more insightful since I'm a super genius. If you wanted to go into your boss fights with more health, stop playing these rooms aggressively and just let your meat man destroy your enemies while you hide by a rock where you'll be safe. You're losing too many of your bonus hearts because of sloppy play.
Hush up, Trumbo, it's time to kick Mom's butt.
That's true, and something about her physique reminds me about your mom.
If by that you mean she's literally my mother in this video game, then yes. But if you mean my mom in real life, then I'm gonna smack you, Donnie.
Joe, your real mother isn't even alive anymore. Anyways, I wonder if Mom got any more difficult in the Wrath of the Lamb DLC, or if she's just the same as she was originally.
Either way, I'm just ripping her to shreds right now. Not having to worry about navigating around the rocks is a real blessing, as well as those 2 extra hearts.
Dang, Sleepy Joe, give your mom a chance. You're just slapping her around right now.
Life hasn't been the same since she stopped letting me have chocolate chip after dinner every night. She must be punished for her insolence. Riot!
Joe, it's your own mother. Have some mercy for Pete's sake.
Barack, I don't think Sleepy Joe's doing a bit. I think he actually just thinks he's a 10-year-old again. I'm surprised he hasn't started sniffing himself yet.
And wow, I smell so amazing. Hey, little Joey, do you want some chocolate chip? I got a white van in the back full of it. Don't worry about asking your mommy. She said she's okay with it.
It absolutely blows my mind that Joe can be having a disturbing trip to the past where he attempts to kidnap his younger self while simultaneously absolutely cranking 90s on his mom. I'm not sure whether to be impressed or disgusted.
I think it's safe to say we can just move past that. I've always wondered what's supposed to be happening in that nightmare. My first thought is always that they're pooping on us, but then how are their heads twisted like that? It's so unclear what the liquid being thrown at us is. I'm not the only one with this problem, right?
Actually, Barack, they just stole a recording of the White House on the average Tuesday afternoon and threw it in there for that clip. Still doesn't really explain what's going on, but does anybody really know what goes on in the White House?
Donald, we literally all used to work or currently work in the White House. How could we, of all people, not know what's going on?
I rest my case.
Actually, you know what? Fair enough.
Man, his scythes are so dang difficult to dodge.
I agree. Of all the attacks in the entire game, I'd have to say that Death's scythes give me the most trouble. Perhaps it's a metaphor for how death comes for us all, and whether we like it or not, one day, we'll all taste the scythe of death.
Or maybe it's just a strong attack that you'd be able to dodge if you were better at the game. Obama.
Man, Death's horse has so much health, this is annoying to finish.
Or maybe you could stop pussyfooting around and face the horse of death head on like a man. In the great words of Walter White, a.k.a. Heisenberg, grow something.
Whoa, Donald, let's keep things family friendly here. No need to finish that quote.
Okay, I'll try. This is why I freaking hate those moves. I'm never gonna listen to you again, Donald.
Alrighty, Sleepy Joe. No need to blow a fuse over one lost blue heart. You got a 4th cube of meat anyway, so you have nothing to complain about. With that big guy on your side, it's going to be almost impossible for you to lose at this point.
I'm still gonna make you pay. That surprised me and aged me 30 years.
All right now, Sleepy Joe. You've made it through the first womb easily. Now it's time for the second.
Hey, now wait just a darn minute. We already had this nightmare earlier in the game. I didn't think the same one could generate twice in the same game. Is it just random?
Donald, this isn't exactly a game renowned for its logic. Cut it some slack.
What do you mean, Obama? Binding of Isaac is the most perfectly designed, beautifully crafted, and amazingly logical game ever to be created.
All right, Joe, lay off. The game isn't listening to you and won't give you a free win just because you're glorifying this mediocre but relatively enjoyable game.
I will say that I'm impressed by that, Joe. Those are 2 enemies that both individually cause me quite a bit of trouble regularly. Good luck on the last boss fight.
Good Lord, have mercy. Is this supposed to be our little brother or something? He's more disgusting than Donald, even after he puts his clown makeup on.
Okay, Joe, I gotta give props. That was actually really impressive how you just dealt with those eyeballs. Keeping perpetual motion to stay out of their line of fire is really difficult, and getting out scot-free is amazing.
Your boy's glad we bumped the music up for this one. This boss fight has the best theme in my opinion.
That's facts. This theme slaps. Also, dang Sleepy Joe making light work out of these mini-bosses.
Call me Ronnie Coleman because this is lightweight, baby.
Wow, Joe, I didn't realize you'd been hitting the gym so much. You're looking mighty big, my boy.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of advisors are the ones running the show, and I have a bunch of spare time, so I installed a gym at the White House. Jill has started calling me Joe Big Dan.
I'm absolutely blown away by Joe's skill at this game. It makes me think he has some strange mental disorder that limits his capacity for everything other than Binding of Isaac specifically. You've been mopping up this fight, and you've only taken one hit on what's supposed to be one of the hardest bosses in the game.
All right, boys, it's time to ascend to the heights of the cathedral. Let's reclaim the Holy Land. Are you boys ready for this? Rear!
Hey everyone, Ben here. You may have noticed that we were fast-forwarding through some of the earlier levels, and that was because we realized that the video was going to be too long for the amount of characters we have this month on 11 Labs, and we really wanted to release a video this month. So even though the original idea was to have the complete unedited run, some changes were made. However, the Cathedral is simply the most dope floor in the whole game, so it's gonna just be clean, regular speed gameplay from here on. Shapiro out.
Get the heck out of here, Benji. Nobody likes you, Pipsqueak. I also love how Sleepy Joe casually is just shredding through this floor, as Ben explained all that.
I appreciate that, Don. Thanks to the compass I bought earlier, we can head directly to the boss room, and we don't have to wander around at all to get there.
How can you be sure that this is the route you need to take, Joe? What if it's a dead end after this route?
If that's the case, then I'll eat my boot. It's obviously right there, Obama.
Don't make promises you won't be able to keep, Sleepy Joe. You can never be certain until you've seen it.
Stop being annoying, Trumpy-Wumpy. It's literally clear as day that it's right beside this next room. I don't know why you guys are being so stupid about it.
Getting nervous, Joe? I saw you lose that heart just now. Looked pretty sloppy to me.
Obama's right, Joey Woey. You might slip up if you let us get to you.
Oh, would you guys shove off? I don't need to listen to this jibber-jabber. If this were back in my day, you'd both have gotten the belt by now.
Oh dear, it appears we've really gotten to him now, boys. I think this might be the end of an era for Sleepy Joe.
Oh, and there goes another heart. You're really losing it now, Joseph.
You really gotta be kidding me. There's no way in the gosh darn heckin' universe that this isn't the route to the boss room. It's literally right there.
Well, I hope Jill's a good cook because you're about to have a delicious boot steak, Sleepy Joe. Better not be too sure of yourself next time. Goodness knows what boss is awaiting you. If you come in with that attitude, you're sure to lose.
Well, Joe, this is absolutely wild. I was sure you were going to be screwed because each room is usually incredibly difficult at this point in the game, but you just got 2 loot rooms. Luck be a lady tonight.
Oh wow, nice job on those, Sleepy Joe. I'm not sure what it is about those flying freaks, but they give me the hardest time I find.
Haha, thanks guys, but you're both forgetting that this is just a victory obtained through the unending power of the scapular. I have not a single doubt in my mind of the success of this mission because of her intercession.
At this point, Joe may as well get ordained and become a Dominican friar.
That would be pretty goated. Sounds better than being the president, not gonna lie.
Hey guys, here's an existential question for you. How many YouTubers do you think have generated our voice with the exact same audio clips and therefore have the exact same version of us? Or you could even ask how many unique versions of us have been created. Pretty wild if you think about it.
For the sake of national security, Donald, I'm going to have to ask you to forget you ever asked that question, or one of my agents will be taking care of you.
You can take away liberty at Guantanamo Bay, but you'll never take away the freedom of us presidents, George.
Thank you, Agent K. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Huh? What happened?
I'm not sure.
Last thing I seem to recall was you guys down on your hands and knees worshiping me for my greatness and Sleepy Joe giving me the presidency.
Yeah, Donald, I may have dementia, but everybody knows that Obama is still the president.
I'm at an actual loss for words.
It's all right, Obama. Just remember that he's probably going to be my opposition in 2024, which means a free win for me. You're the best, Sleepy Joe.
Donald, you'll be lucky if you can even win the primaries. There are boatloads of candidates younger and more capable than you.
Maybe so, but they're not half as rich or fabulously attractive. All right, good luck in the boss fight, Sleepy Joe.
Who could our foe be?
Wow, it's ourselves, guys. Perhaps this whole game is just a metaphor for how in our own spiritual journey, while we may run up against opposition and tribulation, oftentimes the one who's really holding us back is the man in the mirror.
Or maybe you're just a 16-year-old white girl going through her strange spiritual phase.
I'd say he more closely resembles a guy in high school who just started going to the gym and trying to fix his life and listens to Jordan Peterson for inspiration.
It's necessary for young men to burn away the deadwood of their personality so they can become alpha males at the top of the dominance hierarchy. The book of Genesis has almost as many insights as the story of Pinocchio on how to rescue your father from the belly of the whale.
Shut up, Jordy, and watch me cook. I'm putting Isaac on a rotisserie chicken and turning that boy on to Max. Call me Guy Fieri, the way I be dining, driving in, and diving this kid.
The spice cooking.
Finish him, Joe.
You got this, Sleepy Joe.
Wow, boys, we finally did it.
After all that scapular wearing, tear shooting, and boot eating, I honestly don't know what to make of all of it.
All that matters is that it's all over now, guys. No more war, death, famine, or pestilence.
Except in the USA. Haha, good one, guys. That never gets old, unlike me. Anyways, I was pretty disappointed with YouTube restricting our last video. It really killed exposure on what I think may have been our best video yet. Be sure to check out the channel if you've made it this far.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. God bless America.